We've talked a bit about role play. We've talked a bit about role play in session. What about role playing out of the session?
Emily's like, what the hell? So I'm going to set the stage for you
Set
here.
the stage for me because I missed this bit.
So I'm in a couple of games that I've played. I've seen this done. Right, they usually have a Discord server associated with the game, and then they set up a channel in the Discord server for role playing between sessions. So it's like play by text kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in one of the Discord servers, there's a channel called Around the Campfire. And you can go in there and in character, you can say, while we're sitting around the campfire, Shadow pulls out his rapier and as he's cleaning it, he notices the stone that his dad gave him, implanted in the hilt of the stone, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then other people will say, and then sometimes whole conversations in character happen. That same server, there's a channel called Probing Questions, and once a week, Monty will throw a question in there, and it's like, hey, what type of music does your character like to listen to in setting? And if they were living in our world, what kind of music would they listen to? And everybody has got into going in there and typing a paragraph, like
That's cool.
and like Shade likes kind of string music that's kind of angry and angsty or whatever. And if he was living today, he's all about the Seattle grunge scene. Nirvana's his favorite band, and other questions he's asked is, what are your characters feeling on love? Has your character ever killed somebody not in combat situation? And it helped us not only build our character, but also like fill in, add to backstory.
Right.
And it was really cool. And we get to, there are times when you just kind of monologue, and then there are times when interactions would happen. Yeah. And I thought, this is really cool, and with everybody having a cell phone, we could do out of game role playing anytime we wanted to. And I really enjoyed it. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I think that's pretty epic. It reminds me of when I was a teenager, like people used to get on like Tumblr and things like that and do a lot of that same stuff, but usually that goes to weird dark places, but like the surface level of what it was supposed to start off at was the same. It's just like these online text-based role-playing kind of thing. I think it's really cool because, I've talked a lot about fleshing out your character, not just, key points in their backstory, but like what music they like,
You're playing a monk?
Fleshing
out the key points of your backstory.
key points. So funny. But
I have the wrong soundboard. I can't give you a drum roll.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Hold on.
it's too late.
Yeah.
That's better. But being able to figure out, just their likes, their dislikes, their temperament, the way they respond to different things, and I think that's really great because it helps you with your role playing in game when you're on that spot.
There are some times when a couple of characters in a party have knowledge that the other characters don't. In session, we have had those kind of role playing through text messages, but you could easily do that out of session. How many times have you seen somebody on Twitter or Facebook lament the fact that it's 4 more days till my next D&D session? Oh my God. Huh? I've found that those channels and the little questions that the DM puts in there kind of helps satisfy that in between session itch. It can be kind of fun.
I used to do this a lot for video games back in the day. Just like World of Warcraft or ESO is the one I really did a lot of it for. Go in and figure out who your character is, why they are the way they are, where they've been, what they've done, and it's fun. Like, there's a section of Reddit for ESO, and in the ESO subreddit, there were a lot of role players before the game even came out that were going in there and doing it in character. There's one named Spell Check, check like Czechoslovakia, CZ,
Oh, cool.
and he
Which
was
is
one of my
funny.
favorites because he had a I want to say tabaxi, but it's not tabaxi there, it's Khajiit. He had a Khajiit, and he would always talk in the same cadence as the Khajiit in universe with the particular language idioms that they have. And I had one that he was a dark elf, and in that setting, dark elves have enslaved Argonians, the lizard people, but he was orphaned and raised by the lizard people. So it was kind of a he hated that his people were so racist towards the lizard people, and he considered himself more of a lizard person at that point than a dark elf. And that's also why I initially had the mohawk back in the day when we had Gemma, because I had been playing that game and the character had that, and I enjoyed that. And I tried to give the Wildmount campaign the opportunity to do that with a Python project that I did, which was the back end of a blog. And the blog, you could log in, and in character or as a different character, you could role play your thing. And I think Steve and our kid were the only two that took advantage of it, but it was
I
really
enjoyed that. I
cool.
was going to mention Emily. So there's in our games we've had this. John made that blog, and it was cool because in a character, whichever one, you as the DM posted something, right? Maybe it was the Ice Queen or whatever. I forget all the names. Sorry. Um, who posted this thing, and then as our characters, we could go in and answer. So there was info that explained some things that we had already been through. It's like, I get it now. And then there was some info that was like kind of hinting at what we might find out there in the world. And
I don't remember
yeah, John was very
any
upset
of
that you
this.
never read any of his blog. It was really good.
I'm not that upset because that's during the time you were working,
Yeah,
I
overnight.
think, overnight. And
To be fair, a lot of the text messages or like communication that happened between our family during the last like 2 years, I missed because I would like check my phone in the middle of the day while I was sleeping, just inadvertently, and see, oh, you guys been talking, and close it. But it also got rid of the notification, so I would never go back and look at it. And y'all be like, so the other day we were talking about. I'm like, we were talking about what? What are you talking about? I have no recollection of this blog thing. None.
it's still up. I can show it to
You
you
should
later.
show
But
it to me.
I've always been very into role play, just doing it at a table with all the people. It has taken me a while to transfer the skills, I guess.
Because online, when you play with your friends, like you do a good amount of role. I was gonna say because like when you would play Follows Crows, like you would role play that on your headset. It's just hard in person when your face is there. I think that's for you. Like if you're a disembodied voice, you can do anything.
But that's a good point, John. So we were just talking about we have players that are like either uncomfortable with role play or just aren't into it,
Yeah.
right? But using something like text or a Discord channel where they could in character answer some questions or have some dialogue, it might actually help build the
Give them opportunities.
and then turn into more role play in the game.
That's true.
I think before the Wild Mount campaign, your mom and I had a little role play session when she was back home in the Dragonborn city. I can't remember the name of Talonstad, actually. And what brought her into the campaign. I think I did a couple other with other folks, but you guys, we did it at the table in there. and you came up with that awesome Stas backstory where his buddies had knocked him out and stole his shit.
Dinglehopper.
East Stars is Dinglehopper.
And it's cool that, you know,
I only chose Dinglehopper because I knew that Tony would know the reference.
and she's past her Disney movies.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't even care.
It's typical of a papa, always about a year or two out of touch with their grandchildren.
But it's nice to give that opportunity for people who aren't as in person in tune with role playing to be able to role play their characters in either a text channel, or sometimes it might be like drawing in character. I have seen people who will like make sketches as their character would.
And it's easier because, like, when I'm texting, I have a moment to
Think.
edit and rewrite and change the way I want something to read. Whereas when I'm talking, you get one shot.
And you don't look around while you're trying to
And people
think
are
of
just like-
something. Yeah.
Say something funny. And it's like when somebody says, "Hey, tell me a good joke," and you're like, "I literally know no jokes, but in a normal conversation, I got 1,000 jokes." You know, being put on the spot. I think that's
It's also
great.
a good way for we run into this with our home game a lot, right? That we'll go stretches where we're pretty regular about it, and then we'll go stretches where schedules and people's lives and it's hit or miss. Can we play? And we might play once a month, or it might be 2 months since we played, and then we get into a groove where, hey, everybody's lined up and we can play every other Saturday for a while. But when we have those long stretches, it's kind of a good way to just kind of keep the
Right.
game going. What I really enjoy about doing it is writing in my character's voice. Kind of what you were alluding to.
It's fun.
Yeah. Trying to write as Stas speaks is fun.
So, how much of what happens in the chat becomes like canon for y'all's story game? Like, you know, that you and another character have a conversation. Then, when you guys go to play again, like, are you able to reference that conversation since the DM wasn't necessarily there?
Did they put Nirvana in Avernus?
No, not yet. But well, before when we get down to a certain level of hell.
Wow.
Nothing is not, well, that's what Avernus is, the 9 levels of hell, and Avernus is the first level.
Okay.
It was not making, nobody was even thinking that. Do you know that?
Except for John. I think that says more about you than him.
I was going there somewhere. I have no idea where now, since I'm all self-conscious about making a slip. None of it is not canon.
Okay.
And the channel is wide open. So if I'm having a conversation with you, then John can read the conversations that we're having. We also have whisper channels in that Discord.
You've told us about
for
that. Where
private conversations.
uses
Sometimes
that.
the DM needs to tell us something in game, and will drag us into the whisper channel. But
Imagine how cool that is as a DM that you can like go several weeks with just asking just like fluff questions, and then you get to slip in a question that actually like affects the story.
oh, great, I hope he's not watching.
Like, you know, what's your
Hmm.
character's favorite food? And a couple weeks later, you guys all sit down and it's all of your favorite food, but it's been poisoned, and like he knows you can't resist it. Like, I think like that's a really great DM tool to get to know your characters a little bit more and know their weaknesses and their strengths.
Nirvana is playing, and a piece of cherry pie has been put in front of you. What do you do? Well,
I'm gonna
I
eat it.
eat it angrily,
Fuck.
as angsty as I can.
But first you turn the lights out because it's less dangerous.
Lost me there.
Why is it less dangerous in the dark?
With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now.
Uh-oh.
Entertain us. That's
That's not what I thought he ever said. That's literally not the line I thought he said.
I feel stupid and contagious.
Right.
Here we are now. Entertain us.
Yeah, I got that. But the first bit of turn the lights out is less dangerous, whatever, I did not know that's what he said. I don't know what I thought he said, but that's not it.
A mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, my libido.
Little known fact, mosquitoes have high libidos. Every time I go out on the back porch, they're fucking me off.